Hey guys, so remember how, 10 or 20 years ago I mentioned that I would do a body geometry Q&A on this channel? Well, I did record that, except it ended up being very disorganized and just a bit crazy, so I want to re-record it. So that is still coming, but meanwhile I thought I would just upload something for you guys to watch. So this is an excerpt from the Q&A that I did for Club, so I hope you guys enjoy this. Okay, so the next question is, hi Miriam, what is the difference between SD and FN makeup? I really love Violet FR's makeup looks and I suspect she is SD. How do I adapt them to FN? Thank you. So SD makeup is a bit more defined than FN, and it's also soft dramatic or sharpened types in general can pull off those very sharp lines. Let's say a sharp winged liner, they can pull off. And if you have softer flesh, like if you are a soft and blended type, if you're a blended type with soft flesh, if you are a rounded type, if you are a mixed type with soft flesh, if you are a bevel type with soft flesh, and if you are a sharpened type with soft flesh, all of those softened types can pull off brighter colors and more sparkle to their look. So if you are flamboyant natural, so basically that is a bevel type with some sharpness, and you don't have softness to your flesh, so your flesh and your facial features read as more firm, so that's beveled with some sharpness. And if you are that type, then to transform any makeup look into your own makeup look, what you would do is you would make the colors deeper and not as bright. So if there's a statement lip, for example, I looked at Violet FR, it looks like she has a lot of beautiful statement lips. For you, what you would do is you would deepen that color. So the statement of the lip, just like I talked about before for another question, for you this applies as well. If you are a bevel type with some sharpness to it, and if you're watching this, if you're a sharpened type, a pure sharpened type, if you are a blended type with some sharpness, if you are a mixed type with some top flesh, you want to not go so bright with your colors. What you want to do is go with some deeper colors. So the color choices will be deeper colors. So we're talking about a statement lip would be a burgundy lip, a colorful makeup look. A little bit of color is going to go a long way. So really ground your makeup look in a lot of neutrals, and ground your makeup look with neutrals if you are one of the types that I just mentioned that doesn't have the softness to the flesh. And some deep neutrals would be amazing, and your colors that are not neutrals can be those deeper colors like burgundies or basically colors like that, or otherwise neutral lips, and a focus on the eyes. So a focus on the eyes is going to be amazing for all of those types. Those types that I just mentioned look really good with a focus on the eyes and not as much of a focus on the lips. But if you want to focus on the lips, that's totally fine. Just go for not as bright of a color, but a deeper color for the lip if you want to have a statement lip. Another thing is the texture of the overall makeup look. So if you're one of the top flesh types, then you want for your makeup looks to be more matte. And if you have more of the softer flesh, you want for your makeup looks to be more glowing. So just to reiterate sort of so that you guys can follow along, because I feel like this has been a little confusing. If you have soft flesh, so if you are blended with some softness, if you are mixed with some softness, if you are sharpened with some softness, if you are beveled with some softness, you can go for a little bit more glow than someone who does not have that softness to their facial features and flesh. But still, it's relative to your own body type. For example, a bevel type with a touch of softness can go for a bit more of a glowy look, a bit more brighter colors than a bevel type with sharpness. But still, a bevel type with softness is still a bevel type. You don't want to go overboard with the sparkles, with the gloss, with the shine, with the glowiness, with the highlight. If you are a bevel type with softness, you don't want to go overboard. So for bevel type with softness, if you're watching this, go for a matte makeup look. For your foundation, you can add a touch of highlight, and for your lip color, you could make it a bit more glossy or a bit more shimmery, but don't go for an all super glowy makeup look. That's kind of reserved for the rounded types, that ton of glow, ton of sparkle. So back to this question for beveled with a touch of sharpness. So let's recap. So you would also blend out the lines. So, if someone has a really sharp winged liner, you could go for more of a smoky liner, not an exact, precise, sharp line. But at the same time, you can do that because, I've even seen Selena Gomez look amazing with some winged liner, and make sure that it's not super, super sharp. Make the line thicker and not as sharp at the edges. So kind of a heavier line, so to speak, without so much sharpness. So that can be your winged liner if you like winged liner. If you don't like winged liner, then it's easy. Just go for pretty much a pretty slightly blended look, but not overly blended, with deep colors. That would be good. And for last but not least, if you are a bevel type, a sharpened type, etc., and you see some sparkle anywhere, swap it out with gloss. So gloss is basically the sharpened type's sparkle. So avoid sparkle altogether. If you're a bevel type with some sharpness, avoid all sparkle. All sparkle, avoid it. Even be careful with highlight. With highlighter, I would say go for a very, very sheer highlight. That will already look glowy on you. Yes, so I hope that was not too disorganized, but I feel like it was. I hope it wasn't. I hope that answered your question. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Hello, I am wondering what colors you would recommend for someone who is a dramatic classic and also low contrast, warm and delicate, light skin, blonde hair. The recommendations I've seen for dramatic classic is dark colors, but as far as I understand, for a light skin, low contrast, warm and delicate person, the recommendations is lighter colors. I found that peach, green, beige and very warm ivory are my best colors in terms of undertone, but those can seem a bit separate from dramatic classic lines. I find dresses to be the hardest to shop for because it's hard to find the right lines and colors all incorporated in just one item. Thank you for your suggestions. Yes, so I agree, it's very difficult to find something both in your lines and in your colors. And I would say if you are warm and delicate, and you're dramatic classic, I would focus on the lines. Forget about the colors. If you're warm and delicate and you're watching this and you're having trouble and you don't know, what should I do, the lines, should I do the colors? I love this dress, but it's placid blue or it's muted blue and it's not whatever, some warm and delicate color. Forget about it. Warm and delicate, you look fine in everything. I mean it. People get mad at me when I say this, but they're like, no, we have our problems too. Yes, warm and delicate, you have your problems too. The heat just came on. I hear you, okay? But you don't have as many problems as cool undertones. I'm sorry. So just forget about the colors. That's my first advice, like the first practical tip I would give. The second thing I would say is, yes, that's right. So the light colors like ivory or like peach and things like that are going to look good with your undertone, but they're not going to look good with your dramatic classic lines because you have that sharpness to your lines too. So remember when I talked about makeup, kind of making the colors a bit darker, a bit bolder? It's the same way with color recommendations. So my mom is actually a dramatic classic and she is warm and radiant and she's light, low contrast, blonde hair, light skin. So, but she doesn't look that good in peach. Even though her skin glows, she looks really amazing in colors that are slightly darker, so terracotta. So for you, I would say terracotta is going to be your best friend. You are dramatic classic, warm and delicate. Terracotta is your best friend. Olive green is your best friend. So go a shade darker in terms of your colors. So let's say if you're warm and delicate and you're in your medium contrast and you are a dramatic classic or you're a sharpened type, wear dark colors. If you are light and you are a sharpened type or you're a dramatic classic, wear medium depth colors, you see? So go one step darker. Okay, so yeah, so that is my message to you guys. Go one step darker if you have that sharpness to your bone structure than your natural coloring. Just so for you, it would be, olive green instead of moss green. It would be terracotta instead of peach. It would be tan instead of ivory. So those are colors that are going to look good both with your undertone as well as with your lines. And if you can't find something that's both in your lines and in your colors, focus on the lines, really. If you are a warm undertone, this is a message to all of you. If you're a warm undertone, please just focus on the lines. It's okay. You don't have to worry too much about the color. And really, if you're a delicate undertone, if you're warm and delicate, just focus on the color not being too bright, right? So that's what you could focus on. Specifically you, especially as a dramatic classic. Avoid all bright colors for sure. But other than that, just go with any color that is slightly darker than your coloring, and that would look amazing. Obviously, terracotta, olive green are your best friends. So that's it, you guys. That was the excerpt from the club Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it, and the body geometry Q&A for YouTube is still coming up from the questions you guys submitted through that community announcement. And I will leave a link down below, of course, to how you can join Miriam Style Club, and leave some comments, leave some questions, etc. down below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Okay, bye.